From Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today, it's the regular season home finale and the rubber game between the Astros and the first-place Texas Rangers. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby, along with Bart Ennis, who will be here in a few minutes to see who wins this regular season home finale for the Astros. Yesterday, Ash, the Astros bashed 6 homers. That's only the 10th time in their history they've hit that many in a 9-7 win.
Yeah, the most they've hit on the season in a ball game. And some of the youngsters getting involved. Of course, Carlos Correa, now 21 home runs on his rookie season in the major leagues. Been pretty phenomenal. There's your third leading hitter in the American League, Jose Altuve. He hits a pair yesterday, 14 on the season. The Astros have gone multi-homer games 64 times this year, and 29 times 3 or more home runs. And again, 6 home runs yesterday, leading the Astros as they continue as one of the premier home run hitting teams in the American League, or in the majors for that matter.
Rangers now have a 3.5-game lead over the Astros. The Angels are 4 games back. In the wild card, the Astros are holding down the second spot, tied in the loss column with the Angels, and the Twins are a game and a half behind them.
And with all of that, you can see why today's game and the remaining 6 on the road are so big for the Astros as they try to nail down one of those remaining wild card spots or catch these Rangers.
It's been a historic season at home for Dallas Keuchel. Nobody's ever done what he's done. But this game is the most important and really a big one for the Astros, headed out on the road to Seattle and Arizona.
You know, that's what's cool about this time of the year is every day that you come back to the ballpark, it is the most important game of the season, isn't it? 14-0 on the season for Dallas Keuchel right here at Minute Maid Park. He has been spectacular, and again, that's the all-time mark for the Astros. Going by Danny Darwin, Dallas Keuchel and the Astros need Dallas to go out there and have another one of those big days and put away these Texas Rangers and pick up a game.
Coming up, 7 games and 1 week to go with the Astros in control of their playoff fate. Can they turn the Texas Tide against the Rangers and finish the home schedule with a win? The game is coming up. Is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Coming up, he's unbeaten at home and unbridled in his passion on the mound. And today, Dallas Keuchel tries to finish the best home season in Major League history with the biggest win of the year. Michelangelo takes the mound when we come back. Also right now. And on Saturday, the future was on full display as the electric talent of Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa put the Rangers on ice and the Astros back in control of their playoff destiny. Today, the lights go out at Minute Maid Park, but the future keeps shining as Dallas Keuchel tries to put the exclamation point on a season's worth of statements and take one more step toward the postseason. The future begins right now.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park, where Dallas Keuchel is getting ready to go against the Rangers today. If he can get a win, he'll be a perfect 15-0 at home. And the Astros, if he can get a win, will have won their 53rd home game of the season. And that would tie the 2005 team that, of course, made it to the World Series for the most home wins in one season. But it's not going to be easy. This is going to be an emotionally charged game between two teams who know what's at stake here. And those emotions can sometimes work against a pitcher. But Dallas has been pretty good about channeling his emotions, and he has pitched very well against the Texas Rangers here in this ballpark. In 2 outings, he's only allowed 1 run to the Rangers. And also, the Astros showed some emotion yesterday after the Rangers jumped on top 3-0. It was as if their offensive guys just decided, you know what, we are tired of being doormats for this team. They've won 8 in a row against us, and now they've jumped on top again. And so they came out, and Altuve and Springer and Correa set the tone, being very aggressive, attacking Derek Holland early in counts. And boy, did that pay off as they hit 6 bombs yesterday. So those emotions can be a good thing, but for a pitcher, maybe not such a good thing. And we talked to Colby Rasmus about the emotions of these big games because he's played in some of them. And his answer to that question was our Geico quote of the day. He hit that home run yesterday, and he said, this is a roller coaster ride. It's a grind. These aren't patty cake games. They're high intensity. I thought my heart was going to explode out there for a minute. So, and that's a guy who's been through it before. So you need Dallas to channel those emotions. And if this is any tip for you, before the game today, he was in the clubhouse talking about a fantasy football trade. That was his big concern. So I think Dallas is pretty relaxed as he heads into this start, his final one at home this season. I know Alan Ashby has played in a lot of big games over the years in his career. So as we go back up to the booth, let's get his thoughts on the emotions of these big games late in the season.
Yeah, Bart, to me it was fun. This is what you played all season long for. You obviously, you play Major League Baseball for a number of reasons. But when you got a chance to win, that becomes everything in your thought process. And it truly should be fun. And you watch the guys that play it where you can see that it's fun. They will be probably the guys having the big days.
Good-sized crowd here for this Sunday afternoon regular season home finale. And we'll check the lineup now for the visiting Texas Rangers, who played very well on the road, 45-35. They lead off with center fielder Delino DeShields. In right field, Shin-Soo Choo bats second, with Adrian Beltre in the 3 spot at third base. Prince Fielder's the cleanup man in the DH, with Mike Napoli in left field, Mitch Moreland at first base, Elvis Andrus the shortstop, Rougned Odor at second base, Chris Jimenez the catcher, and lefty Martin Perez will pitch.
And on the mound, we've talked about him, Dallas Keuchel, 14-0 at home this year, and he wants to continue that role. A winner last time out in beating the Angels.
First pitch is ball 1 to Delino DeShields, a .263 hitter. Keuchel's 18-8, tied for first in the American League with his teammate Colin McHugh and 2 others with 18 wins. McHugh stepped up yesterday and the Astros won it, as Colin got win number 18. 9-7 Houston. Now 2 balls, no strikes to DeShields. In for a strike, Vic Carapazza is the home plate umpire, and it's 2-1 to DeShields. 343 on base average, and a threat to steal if he gets on. Slashes one, Carter's there, and he doesn't get on. 1 out.
Now he catches a little deep from Chris Carter down at first base. Let's take a look at the rest of the guys. Outfield left to right. Colby Rasmus, Jake Marisnick, and George Springer left side of the infield. Marwin Gonzalez, Carlos Correa at shortstop. Jose Altuve and Chris Carter make up the right side, and Jason Castro once again behind the plate.
Now a lefty hitter has been really tough to retire. Keuchel 15-0 at home since September 20th, 2014, and 18 starts with a 1.45 ERA. Facing Shin-Soo Choo, who has 5 hits this weekend already. Check swing foul. Strike 1. Choo has a .376 on base average. 20 homers, 77 runs batted in. He's hit .392 against the Astros, going deep 4 times and driving in 12. 2 homers in 2 games in this series for Choo.
I don't normally think of Dallas Keuchel as a guy who eats up left-hand hitters, as you see the strike there, but numbers this year say he is that guy. 185 the batting average for lefties against Dallas.
That was ruled a strike, and it's 0-2. Choo's on a 4-game hitting streak. Colin McHugh talked before the game today about how difficult an out he is right now. He's 5 for 20 against Keuchel. That one crowds him, and Colin really stressed getting ahead of these Ranger hitters.
Let's take a look at our Super Mo presented by Mattress Firm. Did he or didn't he try to bunt? I think he would tell you he was trying to bring that bat back in the end, but
problem was he moved it out toward the pitcher.
Certainly did.
It's 1-2. The Rangers, by baseball terminology, ambushed Dallas at Texas against Martin Perez September 16th. They hit some early in the count, and they ripped 3 home runs off him, tagged him for 11 hits and 9 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings. Tap foul. So they were looking for those early mistakes with Dallas trying to get ahead, and they had some good swings. Dave Magadan is the hitting coach. Of course, with all the times Dallas has faced the Rangers and the Astros have faced Martin Perez and the other guys, there aren't any secrets anymore.
Yeah, Dallas came out of that first inning with the Rangers leading 6-0 against him in the game you mentioned at Arlington.
2 balls and 2 strikes for his career is 3-4 against Texas with a 4.10 ERA. But he has faced Martin Perez 3 times, and The Astros have lost all 3 of those with Dallas on the mound. In tight to Chu, and now he's worked the count full.
Well, look now at our strike zone presented by MD Anderson. And you can see pitches kind of all over the place, and don't know if that's the game plan for Dallas Keuchel to work up and in on Chu, but certainly had some pitches in that area.
He rips it into right field. 5-game hitting streak for Chu. And Adrian Beltre will follow. Ranger fans chanting Chu.
Well, that was quite an at-bat. Had some good swings. He had some protection swings, just staying alive, fouling it off, and then got one near the inside corner. Quick bat to shoot it through. But this is a guy that for the last month and a half has just torn it up.
He's aboard for Beltre. Adrian with 16 homers, 70 runs batted in, and a .280 average has hit .364 against the Astros with 9 runs batted in. He's driven in 25 runs for the month of September, second most in the majors, one behind Nolan Arenado of the Rockies. Correa and Altuve are set up for a double play. Beltre not chasing, it's 2-0. And Rangers have had good solid approaches against the Astros pitchers throughout much of this season. As a result, they've hit .298 as a team against Houston. They've scored 106 runs in 18 games. That's a close one.
Yeah.
Michael froze on it. It's ball 3 for Vic Carapazza.
I think any pitcher on the mound, lefty, delivering that slider is going to freeze and say, wait a minute, where is that pitch?
Beltre takes, and that's ball 4.
Even Adrian Beltre was anticipating a call. I think maybe on each of those last 2 pitches. I think Dallas Keuchel wants Jason Castro to come out just so Dallas can ask, are those pitches where I think they are in the strike zone? And let's see what Jason might have to give. There's 3 and 4. They are out of our strike zone. But I think probably right about where Dallas wanted those pitches. No, probably requires a bit of an adjustment.
And those adjustments, of course, if they're not made in the first inning, can blow up. Prince Fielder has had a very big year. He's on a 4-game hitting streak right now. .307 batting average, in the top 6 in the American League. 22 homers, 90 runs batted in. He's hit .318 for his career against Keuchel.
Tonight's key to the game is, or rather today, brought to you by your Houston area Chevy dealers. Rangers in the first inning have been just tough to handle. Outscored their opponents 111-73. That's the best run differential in the major leagues in that first inning.
And for a strike. Keuchel's had a problem getting a called strike. They needed to get one in there, and it's 1-1 now.
Even last time out in Dallas Keuchel's victory over the Angels, he had a bit of a raggedy first inning, a couple of hits, a wild pitch in that inning.
.377 for Fielder against Houston. In the dirt, and the runners advance. No throw. They both move up on the wild pitch.
This is what happens when the glove comes up off the ground. He tries to get down. Glove came up. That's that anticipation, trying to actually catch the ball. And you leave a little bit of a hole, and that little bit of a hole costs here.
Fielder is 5 for 10 in this series with 4 runs batted in the 2 games. Two and 2. Mark Napoli's on deck.
He's been trying to come hard with the slider, and the fastball's missing, so he turns it into more of a curveball, though he says he throws just one breaking ball and hangs it, and fielder misses.
Fielder reaches, rolls one out to second with a run coming home. Altuve over to Carter. 1-0 Rangers. Fielder with his 91st run batted in on out number 2.
That's why that blocking game is so important behind the plate. Difference between possibly a double play and instead a run scored.
Beltre went to third. Now it's Mike Napoli.
Boy, that's how you drive in a lot of runs. You find a way to make contact when you've got a man at third base with less than 2 outs.
Napoli's been playing left field for much of September against left-handed pitching. Infield has shifted around, playing him to pull with Beltre at third. Strike one to Napoli with 17 homers, 48 runs batted in, and a .223 batting average. And he's hit well in those few games he's played against the Astros. Hit a home run off Dallas Keuchel September 16th. That one's out of play, and it's 0-2. Jeff Bannister likes Napoli in that lineup against lefties. He feels it stretches out his lineup more. Plus minus part of the decision is that Napoli is playing left field, and he's still getting used to playing left field. Had not played the outfield in professional baseball prior to a couple of weeks ago.
And it's not like he's found the magic right away. When the Rangers, though, get an early lead, they tend to get him out of the game at least by the heart of the game, 5th inning or so.
25th pitch coming up for Dallas Keuchel. Boy, he's not getting a call on that slider, and it's 2-2.
He's also not getting the swings and misses he gets so often. Don't know if the Rangers have figured out some way to size up that breaking ball right away.
Well, it's working to their advantage to take that pitch. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Mitch Moreland is on deck.
Seen a lot of fastballs up, and it appears by design Jason Castro put that target up.
He gets a swing on that one and strikes out Napoli. The Rangers get a run on 1 hit. They leave a man at third base. Martin Perez will take the hill with a 1-0 lead. And their starting lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jose Altuve, quite a game yesterday. He's at second base with George Springer in right field. Carlos Correa also with 2 home runs yesterday as the shortstop, batting third. The DH and cleanup man today is Evan Gattis with Colby Rasmus in left field. Marwin Gonzalez at third base. Chris Carter at first base. Jason Castro the catcher. Jake Marisnick in center field.
And on the mound it is Martin Perez. 13th start of the year. He's just 3-5 with a 5.21 ERA, so he hasn't had great success. Over a runner and a half per inning on against him. A couple of starts against the Astros where he's gone 1-1, and in September 1-2, and that ERA continues to be up.
He was on the mound a couple of weeks ago when it was a 14-3 win for the Rangers. Martin Perez beating Dallas Keuchel, giving up 1 run in 7 innings. Jose Altuve on a 5-game hitting streak leads the American League in hits with 191. He's third in batting average at .315. Yesterday with the 2 homers, he improved his best home run season in the big leagues to 14. Ground ball fair by Beltre into the left field corner. It took 1 pitch for Altuve to rev up the Astros offense with a leadoff double, his 37th.
Don't you hate to wait until you get the offense going? Now you have to take advantage. This is something the Astros have done a lot of lately. Get that leadoff man on, and especially when you get that leadoff double, gotta find a way to make things happen. He says on the day following 6 home runs for the club. Third leading hitter in the American League.
George Springer with 14 homers, 37 runs batted in, and a .263 average. Hits 1 to second base. Odor will throw to third. Altuve is out. That's a big play for the Rangers. They're out number 1.
Wow. George Springer played this by the book. You hit it on the right side, it's almost automatic in this game that you'll get the man over, but that's a gutsy play and a great play by the Texas Rangers. Look at the quickness. Immediate. Odor knew where he was going with that ball. Tell you what, the Rangers are a club that's been playing great baseball, and you're seeing some of it right here.
Carlos Correa is on a 5-game hitting streak. He had 2 homers, a single, and a walk yesterday. That's down for ball 1. Correa at .282 has 21 homers. That ties Lance Berkman for the most homers by an Astros rookie. 61 runs batted in. He's hit 4 of those homers and driven in 9 against the Rangers while hitting .333. His 21 homers has set a new Astros club record for home runs in a season by a shortstop. George Springer drawing a throw. He's 15 for 19 in steals. So there is Correa alongside Berkman from 2000, and 1 more than George Springer last year. Another throw over. The Astros have stolen 14 bases in 15 tries against the Rangers in their season series. Rangers lead the season series 13-5 over the Astros. In for a strike to Correa, and the count's 1-1. The Astros 3-5 here at Minute Maid Park against Texas this season. This is the final meeting between the two in the regular season this year. Overall, the Rangers have won 80. The Astros have lost 48. In for strike 2, and it's a 1-ball 2-strike count for Perez.
See if Perez is getting a call that maybe Dallas Keuchel isn't getting right now. That's then in that very close range. Bart was talking about the very aggressive early in the count bats yesterday, and Correa took an early pitch, maybe where he'd like it.
Perez throws to second. Odor relays to first for a double play, and the inning blew up on the Astros after the leadoff double. A 6-pitch inning for Perez, no runs, a hit, and it is 1-0 Rangers after one.
And it's time for our AT&T Rewind, and we're taking a look back at Dallas Keuchel's last home start against the Rangers. It came on July 19th, coming out of the All-Star break, a day after Dallas had thought the Rangers had disrespected the Astros. There was a little dust up at home plate between Hank Conger and Rougned Odor. The benches emptied and pushing and shoving and whatnot, but Dallas came back the next day, struck out a career-high 13, and the Astros won 10-0 to make a big statement that day, Brownie.
Yes, he did. Thank you, Bart. There's strike one to Mitch Moreland. He's on a 7-game hitting streak, hitting .310 during that stretch. Breaking pitch is called there. 0-2. So Keuchel now is the all-time leader among Astro left-handers in strikeouts in a season. He got his 204th to end the first inning, one ahead of Mike Cuellar in 67. Rolled slowly, and here's Keuchel making the play himself and gunning him out. He was the only one who could make that play with the shift on.
Now, he knows himself with that defensive side of the game. Did not rush the play at all, even though he had to go hard to get to this baseball. And this could have been a tough play for a lot of guys. Look how hard he goes and then just sets up and makes the play routinely. See, a lot of guys just rush that play needlessly. Beautifully done.
Elvis Andrus will follow. Keuchel continues to lead American League pitchers in total chances. That was his 69th chance of the year. After winning a Gold Glove last year, he bounces that one to Andrus for ball one. Elvis with a .259 average has 7 homers. He's driven in 59 runs. .231 against Keuchel. In for a strike, and it's 1-1. Keuchel leads all American League pitchers in WAR, 6.9, wins above replacement. Quick tempo, he gets a pop-up, foul ground. Here's Altuve digging hard. Springer coming over, and it's out of their reach. 1-2. But not out of their reach. The little guy got an early souvenir.
You won't need hot dogs or anything all day long. It's all about the baseball, right?
No food necessary. to create enjoyment. He has the trophy that everybody looks for.
Had that haircut that you and I had when we were kids.
When we had hair to cut.
You still got it, pal.
Well, the Astros head out on the road. Final road trip of the year after this one today. 3 in Seattle, 3 in Arizona. 2-2. So you and Julia and Blummer will get back together again in Seattle tomorrow night.
It's time to go get hot on the road, Brownie.
McCullers and Elias tomorrow night for you. That'll be an 8:30 pregame show start time. Mike Fiers and Vidal Nuno square off Tuesday night, same game time, and then Wednesday all 3 games start with the 8:30 pregame show. It's Scott Kazmir for the Astros, TBA for Seattle. The TBA will not be King Felix. He just pitched last night. Now 3-2, and these Rangers are taking a lot of pitches.
You know, you have these game plans. Okay, we're going to pitch in. We're going to really work that inside corner. Keuchel's done it over and over and has not gotten a single call in there. And you can see he's missing. But yeah, it just punishes your game plan when this is the way things go.
Check this swing and drew a walk. Second walk for Keuchel. He's walked 49 in 220 innings. Rougned Odor is next. He made the big play to gun down Altuve on the ground ball by Springer. Odor with 15 homers, 58 runs batted in, has hit .269. He's 2 for 15 against Keuchel. Marwin Gonzalez is at the edge of the grass at third. Odor takes it, and it's ball 1 to him. Rangers are 4th in runs scored now in the American League. But they have rolled against the Astros offensively. In for a strike, and it's 1-1. These two clubs have gone in totally different directions here in September. The Rangers are 16-8. The Astros are 8-15. Today's game really a swing game for these two clubs in the AL West battle. It's 2-1 to Odor. Rangers have the second best record in the American League since the All-Star break. 42-24. Only Toronto is better. It's 3-1.
Odor looks like, as a left-hand hitter, he's seeing the ball perfectly. His body's not flinching, taking pitches easily. And that's not normally what Dallas Keuchel sees from the lefties.
Flared foul. Before the game, in a chat with Colin McHugh, he said they have such good balance, these Rangers hitters. It's tough to get them off balance. And he said the big thing is try to keep the speedy guys, to Shields, Andrus, and Odor, off base.
You know, it says a lot for the work of hitting coach Dave Magadan.
Little dribbler. Keuchel barehanding. Took his time and got him. Andrus to second, 2 outs.
Once you barehand as a pitcher, you better have an instant to set that ball correctly in your hand. Well, it's a battle. Downright battle to get each one of these outs. So he uses the glove to actually set the ball correctly.
There it was, that little tap into the glove. Chris Jimenez, with a .271 average, has 5 homers, 14 runs batted in, 7 hits in his last 17 at bats. He has a .541 slugging percentage. He wasn't even supposed to be the main catcher for the Rangers. Robinson Chirinos has been sidelined for a while now. There's ball 1 to Jimenez. They've gotten yeoman's work from him. In for a strike, and it's 1-1. Jimenez, 32 years old, a journeyman. First pitch strikes to only 3 of 9. That's extremely unusual for Dallas, as the Rangers are in a take mode today. 1-2.
Rare changeup on the afternoon, and that's got to get integrated into the repertoire for Dallas.
So do you, as a catcher and pitcher, talk about how do we get these guys to swing the bats when they're taking like this?
Well, you better when you see a first inning plus like Dallas has seen at this point. Got to do something different.
Upstairs, and he takes it.
Yeah, that bust in. We're going to be real men out here and bust in, find the inside corner. Thing is not working, so you adjust, and I think that's what good pitchers do.
We've seen Dallas, Colin McHugh do that throughout the season. Now 3-2. Sixth 3-ball count for Dallas Keuchel. Time is called. The Astros are 52-28 at home. That ties the best home record in the American League. Toronto shares that same record at home. Second most home wins in Minute Maid Park history. Jimenez struck out. Number 2 for Keuchel. It's no runs, no hits, and a man left. 1-0 Texas. Keuchel's corner is jammed with those orange shirts today and the beards. Evan Gattis comes up, bottom of the second inning. Gattis the club leader in homers and runs batted in with 26 and 86 respectively. Has a .243 batting average, 15th in the American League in runs batted in. Rasmus and Gonzalez to follow against Martin Perez. One pitch grounder to Andrews, and 1 out for Perez. Colby Rasmus follows. Colby hit one of these 6 Astro home runs yesterday. Getting the start against this lefty. He has 22 homers, 55 runs batted in, a .232 average. The Astros do not feel that Carlos Gomez is quite ready to go yet. So it's lefty on lefty for Rasmus, who has belted 5 homers this month. A.J. Hinch is asked every day about Carlos Gomez, who's been out for a couple of weeks right now with a strained left oblique. He said he's getting closer, but we could not get him on the field. There was no batting practice on the field for a workout today. 1 ball, 1 strike. And he said tomorrow in Seattle we have a night game. We'll be able to get him on the field and have him take batting practice, and he may be in the lineup.
You hate to get into that how come we're not getting what they're getting kind of situation, but it would appear that Perez has gotten a couple of pitches, including the strike 1 here to Rasmus, that clearly Dallas Keuchel is not getting. Take a look. That's where it is.
Tight. 3-1 to Colby Rasmus. Tough to watch, and that's what Carlos Gomez is relegated to doing, although he was to a pinch run yesterday. If Chris Carter had reached base, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, he did more than reach base. He hit a go-ahead homer in the 6th inning, so no need for a pinch runner, but Gomez was going to be called upon. Foul ball, and that keeps Rasmus in there at 3 balls, 2 strikes with Marwin on deck. Colby has a .920 OPS in the month of September. Struck him out. First strikeout for Perez.
Come celebrate your birthday with the Astros way. Surround yourself with the excitement of cheering on the Houston Astros while throwing a birthday party at Minute Maid Park. For more information, visit Astros.com or you can call 713-259-8996. That's the dating game, Brownie, I think.
Is that what that theme is?
I think so.
All right, where's Jim Lang, by the way?
I don't know. I haven't seen him doing the dating game for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, at least about 40 years, right? Marwin Gonzalez, 277, 11 homers, has 33 runs batted in. Taps that one foul. There's strike 1. Marwin with 11 homers, 33 runs batted in. Checks in with a 277 average, and as a right-handed batter, he's hit 298. Marwin's hit 320 since mid-June. He has certainly had a lot of playing time for the Astros in a variety of roles. He's had some left-hand problems, limiting him to right-handed hitting duty lately. Beltre over into foul ground. Elvis Andrus angles over by the stands, and he won't get to it. They've got it in Keuchel's corner.
Left side of the infield for the Texas Rangers is kind of a party every day. Get to know your players.
Elvis flipped over that short wall there. Chris Carter's on deck. Slowly hit. Andrus coming in. High throw, safe at first. That's his 22nd error of the year. He had plenty of time.
Looked like something got caught with cleats on one of the shoes. It looked like everything was perfectly set up for Andrus, and then there was a hesitation based on what I saw as footwork getting messed up. I don't know.
It did look a little out of whack.
Take advantage of the breaks you're given.
Yeah.
Clearly, footwork wasn't the best there, as he kind of got turned with that right foot getting behind the left.
Yes, he did. That gives Chris Carter a chance to swing the bat. Carter lines one into left center field. Marwin takes the turn, heads for third. The throw goes into second, and it's a single for Carter. First and third, 2 outs for Castro now. And Chris Carter hit the go-ahead homer yesterday, and here's his first swing of this game.
He's earning a little playing time right now, and keep in mind he loves hitting in Seattle. Just sweet, nice, and easy. I wouldn't have told you that. Home run leader at home this year, Chris Carter.
Heavy weighting of home runs for Chris. Jason Castro has 11 homers, 30 runs batted in. He's 1 for 7 this weekend. Not a good swing for Jason, and there's strike 1 with Marisnick on deck. 5 of the 8 Astros hitters have swung at the first pitch. So it's the opposite compared to the Rangers' approach against Dallas Keuchel. Marwin's moving up the third base line in tight, and there's Jimenez drawing the arm back. He's trying to attract the attention of Martin Perez. 1-1. You don't think he would go Jackie Robinson, do you?
Not in Marwin's case, I'd like to think.
Try to steal home.
2 years ago, Jonathan Villar, I think he got about a coin flip chance.
He certainly is ready to score on a wild pitch. He's coming aggressively off third base toward the plate. 2 balls and a strike. That youngster really knows how to multitask. He can yawn and grab his dad's cap at the same time.
He's counting the attendance. You'll get the figure about the 7th inning, I think.
In the dirt, and Marlin did not get a chance to come home because Jimenez made the play. 3-1 now.
Jimenez is getting a workout here in the inning. That glove coming up, but puck could not find the 5-hole.
Oh. Astros catching all 3 games of this weekend series. Rangers made a costly error yesterday. Mitch Moreland. And that cost them 200 runs.
Keuchel has tried to come in steadily, unable to get swings or calls, but that 3-1 pitch gets the swing of Castro.
Castro fouls it. Moreland's playing behind Carter at first base. Martin Perez had Tommy John surgery May 19th of 2014. Opened this season on the 60-day disabled list. His 18 major league wins. Got a poking left forearm on a line drive back in 2013 in spring training. Carter goes, and it's ball 4 to load the bases. Castro draws the walk, his 31st of the year, and Marisnick will bat it. Mark Maddox is headed for the mound.
See that reaction. Pitchers generally don't want to hear it. They're thinking about it. They've thought through all of these things. It's just that trying to find it issue, and yet it's part of the game.
Marisnick is 2 for 5 against Martin Perez. He'll have this bases loaded opportunity. In his career, he's 4 for 13 with the bases loaded. 1 for 7 this year for Jake. Jose Altuve's on deck. Marisnick is 0 for 3 this weekend. He takes, and it's ball 1. Perez starting the day with a 5.21 ERA. Has been inconsistent. For his career against Houston, though, he's 4-1 with an ERA of 2. Now 2-0.
But he can't nibble anymore. And as a hitter, of course, 2-0. Is Marisnick swinging here? Does he even have the green light? But this is where you're most apt to get a pitch through the heart of the plate.
Astros beat Perez here in Houston July 17th, 3-2. He went 5 innings in that one. Line drive into right field. That'll score Marlin. And Chris Carter. Here's the throw into second. Marisnick has a 2-run double, and the Astros lead it 2-1.
So Marisnick gets the green light, takes advantage of an almost assured fastball. And the Astros take the lead in the process. That's how you do it. You come up with big swings when you need them. And Marisnick even handled a pitch out of the strike zone because it was the fastball that he knew was coming.
The 2-out error by Andrus opened the floodgates. 2 unearned runs have come across. Marisnick, the number 9 hitter, driving in a couple to give him 35 runs batted in and get this crowd into it. And these Houston crowds have been absolutely fantastic all year long. A couple of crowds of 35,000 plus have come out this weekend. The Astros at 2,117,000 for the season in home attendance, averaging 26,469, and they have been into the games. Jose Altuve went for the first pitch, and he bounced a double inside the third base line in the first inning. Down and in for ball 1 to Altuve. He had that collision with Carlos Correa Friday night and left the game feeling a little woozy. But did he ever come back strong yesterday with a 2-home run game? Inside, that one almost got him. And it's 2-0.
Now, unlike the Marisnick at bat, this is not an assured fastball. They would be willing to walk Altuve and not have to give in on any given count.
25th pitch of the inning coming from Perez. And it's ball 3, and he seems to have lost his feel for the strike zone.
He'll lose his feel for the mound soon if he continues this way.
George Springer's on deck.
So that really was the next question. Does Altuve get the green light? And if he does he utilize it?
That was his first career multi-home run game yesterday. He's the first Astros second baseman since Craig Biggio in 06 to hit 14 homers in a year. Time is called. Altuve could become the second player in Major League history to lead the American League in hits and steals in back-to-back seasons. It happened in 44 and 45. The Yankees' Snuffy Sternweiss. 3-2 now to Altuve.
I knew it would be somebody named Snuffy.
Isn't it always a Snuffy?
Yeah, that pitch is not close. That's just getting that feeling like I know what I'm getting right here, and I'm going to pounce on it.
Ground ball goes foul.
So that talk where Brisnick knew he was getting a fastball. No such thing here for Altuve. And they've come with a variety of speeds.
28 pitch second inning for Perez. Last time out against Oakland, he got a no decision. He lasted 4 innings, giving up 6 hits and 5 runs. Threw 69 pitches in the game, and he was gone. Swing foul. But the way Perez has pitched against the Astros generally in his career, Astros have not seen him waver a whole lot. This will be his 8th pitch to Altuve. Eric Holland lasted 5 yesterday, giving up 4 earned runs. Oh, strike 3 call. Altuve looks back at Vic Carapazza, and he is upset. He very seldom expresses anger like that. And that's the end of the second inning. Astros coming up with 2 runs on 2 hits with an error and 2 men stranded. They lead it 2-1.
We go to the 3rd inning. Let's take a look at what Altuve was upset about. Strike 3 on this one. Boy, how Dallas Keuchel would like a call about like that at any given point. Got a potential Cy Young Award winner, cannot get it, and yet maybe somebody else is. Come on, man.
George Springer having to pull Altuve back from umpire Vic Carapazza. Now 2-1 Astros. The leadoff man, DeShields, coming up for Texas. He grounded out to Carter in the first inning. This is the Rangers' final road game of the year, the Astros' final home game. Strike there, and that would have to be a strike after the last pitch for Altuve, right?
So maybe the corners are loosening up.
That was a 50th pitch for Keuchel. Number 51 is the ball to make it 1-1.
See what that first strike looked like. A little bit of Keuchel paint there that he oftentimes will get the call on.
Flared out toward left field. Rasmus with a catch, 1 out.
You loosen up the corners a little bit, and hitters will have to start swinging the bats.
Shin-Soo Choo took his hitting streak to 5 games with a single to right field in the first, and he scored on the ground out by Prince Fielder. Rangers signed Choo to a 7-year contract, and after last year, his first year with them, that was looking like a terrible signing, but now it looks pretty good. Strike to Choo.
Now he's simply one of the horses in this lineup right now for Texas.
0-96 in April.
That pitch missed.
431 in September. From the ridiculous to the sublime.
There's that last pitch. That's getting a good chunk of the corner.
Carter crosses to Keuchel. 2 outs.
2016 Astros season tickets happen to be on sale right now. Guarantee yourself your own seats for a potential 2015 postseason run by reserving your 2016 season tickets, and you can do it today. Visit Astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Adrian Beltre walked on 4 pitches in the first inning. Ball 1 to Beltre. We've talked about it. We both agree he should be a Hall of Fame third baseman someday.
Heck of a player, and I think he'll wind up there. But he's kind of an inspiration, I think, to players, former players, as to how you maybe could have played the game and played it successfully. Just has a great time every time he comes to the ballpark. Doesn't hurt to have a load of tools.
In for a strike, 2-1 to Beltre. Beltre has scored 19 runs against the Astros. That ties the second most ever by a Ranger against any opponent. Alex Rodriguez had 20 runs against Anaheim in 03. Big cut there, and it's 2-2 to Beltre. A real leader on this Ranger club.
And Keuchel's muttering to himself. That breaking ball got a swing and a miss, but it was nowhere near where Dallas wanted it.
He got another one on a breaking ball and struck him out for a 1-2-3 third. 5 in a row retired by Keuchel. They're happy in Keuchel's corner and other areas of the ballpark. And George Springer will lead it off in the home third inning, 2-1 Houston. George Springer will lead it off for Houston. And Correa and Gaddis to follow against Martin Perez, who struggled in the second. He got the first two batters. Then a 2-out error on Elvis Andrus allowed the Astros to continue to bat, and they cashed in. Springer fouls it for strike one. Springer hit the ground ball to Odor, and Odor threw out Altuve after a leadoff double at third base in a key play in the first inning. So George did his part, but Odor really made an unusual play.
You won't see that happen on that kind of a play, that situation, almost ever.
It is extremely rare, isn't it? 0-2.
Took confidence, aggressiveness, no hesitation whatsoever by Odor, and he's one of the young players.
This Ranger club playing very loose, very hard. 1-2. In fact, there's a lot of mutual respect between these two teams and their managers this year. It's been great for baseball in Texas to have these two clubs battling tooth and nail for the AL West. Jeff Bannister grew up a fan of the Astros and used to sneak in the loading dock of the Astrodome. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He didn't have a lot of money then. He needed to have some gas to get home.
No, we can't have people just sneaking in. We're going to have to hand him a loss.
Security's a little tighter now. A strikeout, foul tip, 1 out.
Our TXU Energy Power player is Carlos Correa. Hit his first home run at Minute Maid Park back on June 12th. Multi-homer games on August 1st and September 26th, which just happened to be yesterday, but he's going to do this a lot on his career. And he's got a sense already for the big moment.
He showed that yesterday.
Man.
Bounced into a double play first time up today. There's ball 1 to Correa. Very nice story about Carlos in Sports Illustrated this week. Written by Ben Ryder.
Will he be the Rookie of the Year in the American League this year?
Well, he's been out there a little bit ahead of Francisco Lindor of Cleveland. But Lindor has gotten a lot of rave reviews for his defensive play as well as Carlos.
Yeah, they've both been fantastic. I think Carlos will win out when it's all said and done.
It's 2-1. According to the story, and we'll see some numbers here. And .319 batting average for Lindor, but 21 homers to 10, 61 RBIs to 47, 12 steals to 9, and so on.
So what do you value? I'd say the 61 RBIs and then the home run figures over Lindor would clearly drag my vote in Correa's corner. You see the games played are almost identical.
Yeah. 2-2. Well, according to this Sports Illustrated article, Carlos has a WAR, win above replacement figure, of 3.2, and only 30 hitters have ever had a better season's WAR at so young an age. That includes 15 Hall of Famers of the 30. Strike 3 call. Perez gets Springer and Correa on strikes.
So the inside corner now is loosening up, and outside corner cost Altuve. Let's see how this plays out on Correa. Very close. The Astros hitters are going to have to loosen it up as well.
Boy, this game's going. Home plate's going to be about as wide as I-10. 2 outs, and it's Evan Gaddis. He grounded out to shortstop in the second inning.
Now, wait a minute. It's never quite wide enough, is it?
Not enough lanes, no. It's fine on Sundays, though. And there will be some traffic on this Sunday because the Houston Texans are also playing in this city. Ball 1 to Gaddis.
I'm hoping 290 is fully widened come next year. Two balls, no strikes. Well, as for the Astros, they'll be headed in a different direction.
headed for the airport after this game. And the final road trip of the year. Seattle Mariners have been playing some good baseball. Recently they've lost a few, and they lost a tough one last night on a walk-off homer by the Angels in the bottom of the 9th inning. David Freese hit it. Tap to third, roll slowly, and it will roll foul for Beltrame. 2-1. That was an unbelievable catch last night by Mike Trout of the Angels.
Yeah, that wasn't just your leap at the wall and come up with it. That was climbing the wall, knowing exactly the timing, and also spatially. I mean, he was just right on the money.
But the Angels lost their closer to an injury. Houston Street had to leave with a groin injury last night. And they had lost Joe Smith, their 8th inning setup man, only 10 days, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, those Angels have really come on. And by the way, they start the day having lost the same number as the Astros.
74. The Astros have won one more game. The Astros will be off on Thursday. Moreland just got it to the pitch of Perez in time. He had a little late break for the bag, but he got it on a 3-1 play for out number 3. And after 3, it's 2-1 Astros.
Fan of the game. You know, earlier we were talking about ways to get your season tickets for next year, and today is Fan Appreciation Day, so we have found a season ticket holder who's been around since 1986. Was Cheryl Zane's first year as a season ticket holder. That was a good year to be your first year.
People thought I was crazy when I bought my season tickets, and by the end of the year I was the one laughing at them.
And you were hooked, right?
I was hooked. I was hooked before that, but that was my first year as a season ticket holder.
So teams always go through ups and downs, and you've been through a lot of them. For the most part, this team has been very good during your almost 30 years now as a season ticket holder.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And you've weathered this most recent storm, and you look at this team now.
It was really hard the last 3 years. This year's been a great surprise, and we're keeping our fingers crossed and thinking good things, and hope they'll bring it home.
Now, season ticket holders were honored today. Show the fans your bat. They gave all the season ticket holders a bat with their name on it. Very nice decorative bat here. So Cheryl Zane, a long time, 30 years next year, Brownie, she'll be a season ticket holder. Congratulations, you are our progressive fan of the game.
Thanks. Go Stros.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. 0-2 to Prince Fielder. And in the dirt on the slider. He takes it. It's 1-2. Fielder had the RBI ground out in the first inning. Rangers go back home to play 3 with Detroit and 4 with the Angels. But they're a better road team than home team this year. In the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Angels start later at home against Seattle. Minnesota Twins still very much a factor, and they lead 6-0 at Detroit in the middle of the 7th inning. They're a game and a half behind the Astros in the wild card race for spot number 2. Yankees looking very good for spot number 1. Struck him out looking, and fielder will take a seat. He's standing there for a while at home plate. So these hitters are finding that things have changed a little bit.
Yeah, that tight zone lasted a brief amount of time. What's good for one is good for all right now. So the message is swing it.
Mike Napoli struck out on a 3-2 count in the first inning. That's strike 1 to Napoli. And pitchers will go right for the jugular when they can sense those corner calls are going to be going their way. Off-speed pitch. Napoli not biting. It's 1-1. Yankees lead the White Sox in New York. It's 3-0 in the top of the 7th inning. One ball, 2 strikes. Blue Jays trail the Rays in Toronto 4-3 in the top of the 8th. Twins are really hanging with it with that 6-0 lead at Detroit. By the way, Brad Ausmus has been told he will return as the Tigers manager. His coaching staff also returns for next year. In the dirt, and it's 2-2. That had been speculated in the media that maybe it might go the other way.
I think it has also been speculated that Brad would then likely wind up in San Diego, but I hope he's enjoying life there in downtown Detroit.
Foul back. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rangers have won 17 more games than they did all of last year. The Astros have won 11 more. The Astros actually have won 30 more than they did 2 years ago. They had 51 wins, 111 losses. Got him looking. Napoli took the breaking pitch. Now he's coming after Vic Carapazza. 5 punch-outs.
The Toyota drive to the playoffs. And it is drive time. Of course, a lot of teams have already locked up, but in the American League, the Astros in front, a half a game in front of the Angels, game and a half in front of the Twins. In terms of that second wild card, 7 games left for the Angels and for the Twins, 6 for the Astros. And you can see the schedule. Ronnie just talked about what the Angels and the Rangers are doing soon. It's gotten rather intriguing, hasn't it?
Yeah, strike 1 to Mitch Moreland, who grounded out to Keuchel. It should make for a wild final week here in the American League. It's Irvin Santana pitching today for the Twins quite well against Detroit. Detroit started Randy Wolf, the former Astro. He was gone before the 2nd inning ended. Grounded foul and 0-2. Great stories about both of these 2 teams, of course. How they got to where they are right now, the Rangers and the Astros. And the same applies to the Minnesota Twins. Other teams like the New York Mets, who just clinched the NL East. It's been a year of surprises in Major League Baseball. One and 2.
Did not think I would hear at any point that the Washington Nationals would be eliminated this year.
Nope. A major shock. The shift is on. Correa's there and throws out Moreland. 8 in a row have been set down by Dallas Keuchel, who's in a groove. He's given up one hit, a single, and he leads it 2-1 in the fourth.
You get your free Houston Astros Crush City yard signs. They are still available at select Academy Sports and Outdoor stores, but they're going fast. Go to rootsports.com/yard signs for a list of participating locations before they run out. Fans are having a lot of fun with those guys.
Oh, they are. We have some in our neighborhood, Bart. I know you do too. Ash, you've seen a few around. There they are. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's 2-1 Houston. It's been a year to re-engage for a lot of these fans. Martin Perez gave up a leadoff double, but no runs in the first inning, and then he should have had a 1-2-3 second, but for a 2-out error by Elvis Andrus, and that allowed Chris Carter to come up and get a single. Castro walked. Marisnik had a 2-run double. Now Colby Rasmus. Colby struck out on a 3-2 pitch in the second inning. There's ball one to him. Well, this being our final home telecast, we'd like to thank the general manager of Root Sports in Houston, David Pearce. Odor over to first base. That's out number one. Also Murphy Brown and Brian Mitchell for all their help. Kind of a bittersweet time when things come down to this, but the Astros, of course, could have more home games, but they may not.
Yeah, you can remove a lot of that bitter if the Astros find their way into the postseason and play well.
Marwin Gonzalez reached on that error by Andrus. Mike Uguccione and Tom Letter, our associate producers, so a lot of great work on this telecast this year. That's ball one. And our home crew could be working their last game of the season. Technical directors Damon McGavick, Bill Bradley, Scott Daly. They do marvelous work. It's been a joy to once again be a part of their crew, the Emmy Award-winning crew. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jason Martin on audio along with Matt Weaver, Terry Sanders, Ray Hausman, Adam Sally, Keith Marrero, Dennis Klein, Richard Martinez. In the video room, Stephen Shaw and Tim Joplin, Greg Beaversdorf and Rilo Coleman. In tight. 2 balls and a strike as Marwin got out of the way. Great camera crew here as well. Mike Brady, Doug Bonnell, Charles Thomas, Don Dorsey, Cliff Crowley, Rick Stogstill, John West, Frank Trevino, Jamie Tidwell, Robin Barrow, Kim Elston, Kevin Allen, Dana Sherman, Adrian Ochoa, Mario Arredondo. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And most of these folks also work Houston Rockets home games on Root Sports. Tape operators, Jerry Blancas, Margaret Krause, snapper, Jason Fenley, Tim Paris, Deb Ferguson, Brad Mitten, Van Williams. Graphics, Kenny Breitstein, Raquel Quintanen, Kristen Smith. Score operators, Alex Scarfo, Peter Swearinger. Line shot, whoa. Beltre with a strong play to the backhand side. 2 outs.
Yeah, that's one of the game's really great third baseman. And I agree with you, Brownie. The Hall of Fame is going to loosen up the hinges for him when the time comes.
Terrific glove man and slugger down through the years.
Pure reaction. It's a reaction position for the good part. And then he's got that just casual sidearm to submarine sling.
Strike to Chris Carter. He singled in the 2nd inning and scored. A.J. Hinch asked questions about Chris Carter on his media session. Said, well, we've always felt this year that he's a strong contributor to the team. Odor throws him out. That's 7 straight retired. It's a 9-pitch 4th inning, and it's 2-1 Houston.
Little Name That Astro, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. This guy was once traded for a Pirates legend. He was a playoff hero against the team he played for, and he retired during the '94 strike. If you think you know who this is, tweet us. Let us know. We'll give you the answer a little bit later in the game. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Bart. 2-1 Astros. Dallas Keuchel has retired 8 in a row. Elvis Andrus leads it off in the 5th inning. Andrus walked on a 3-2 count in the 2nd. One of 2 walks in this game for Keuchel. Pretty even battle so far between these 2 lefties. There is strike 1 to Andrus. In tight, and it's 1-1. Keuchel is trying to go 15-0 at home, and he would be the first pitcher in modern Major League history to do that. In for a strike, 1-2, but then nobody's gone 14-0 at home either. So if he got a no decision today, he would still be the only pitcher in Major League history to be undefeated for that many decisions at home. And he gets a strikeout of Andrews. Number 6.
I wouldn't call it the sharpest outing to this point for Dallas, and yet he's got the 2-1 lead. He's starting to get better. You see the first couple of pitches in that sequence, and pitch number 2 very likely should have been called a strike. But those pitches were where he generally likes to work. A lot of pitches up, and I don't think they're all intentional.
Rougned Odor grounded out to Keuchel. There's strike 1 to Odor. I'd like to thank our stage managers this year: MC Hazel, Melissa Gordon, Terry Paris, Katie East, Kim Nahas. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phil Boudreau has headed up our stats crew. Trey Wilkinson, Bill Cousins, Gene Duffy, Oscar Martinez, and Chuck Poole have helped out as well. 1-2. Rilo Coleman, one of our utility runners and also driver. Ruben Vela, been all over the place. David West, our engineers, Craig Johnson, Ruben Vela, Larry Hildreth, and Dan Tighe. Thanks to one and all for a great job again this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, you're starting to see more and more of those close, well-placed pitches now from Dallas.
Got him swinging. Number 7. Name that Astro. Let's see what we have, Ash.
Here we're getting some good guesses. Sid Bream. He's the leader in the clubhouse.
Chris Jimenez struck out in the 2nd inning. Strike 1. There are several playoff possibilities, as you know. The Astros might be involved in a playoff game a week from tomorrow, a play-in game, so to speak, to be one of those playoff teams. 1 ball, 1 strike. So they could have baseball here a week from tomorrow, depending on the teams involved.
Yeah, that would be the Angels scenario.
Yep. Because the Astros won the season series from the Angels. So if they tie with the Angels, they could be playing them here.
And again, dead even in that loss column right now. So that's a genuine possibility.
When you think about the Angels losing those 2 late inning relievers we talked about earlier, that could really influence the final week of the season. Not sure who their closer is right now. 3 balls and a strike. They know one thing: they're having a good time with their Keuchel beards and T-shirts. Struck him out, or strike 2 rather, on Jimenez, and it's 3-2 now.
See if this is in that high strike zone. Certainly is.
Yep. Keuchel's thrown 8 of 9 first pitch strikes after starting the game, throwing 3 of 9. Struck him out. Struck out the side. That's 8 punch-outs for Dallas Keuchel. He's whiffed 11 in a row, and he leads it 2-1 in the 5th. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Texas Bay Credit Union. Texas Bay Credit Union is the official credit union of the Houston Astros. Join today. Keuchel Nome is here at Minute Maid Park. And it's 2-1. Fine pitching by Keuchel has put the Astros in a favorable spot. Now they try to add to their lead. Castro, Marisnik, and Altuve due up in the Houston fifth. Castro drew a walk on a 3-2 pitch from Perez in the second inning. Perez throws, and it's strike one. Perez on the road is 0-4 with a 5.59 ERA this year. No balls, 2 strikes. The Mets are beating up the Reds 8-1. They're in the bottom of the 8th in Cincinnati, where the Mets celebrated last night after clinching the NL East title. They're now 88-67. Matt Harvey won for them last night. Jacob deGrom started today, 6 innings, 1 run. It's been quite a year for Terry Collins. He's managed for a long time, and he's probably never had things confront him the way they have this year with his young pitching staff and the need to rest them. Castro strikes out. That's 4 for Perez.
Well, it's actually a not so brave world that managers are facing out there now, where there's a lot of fear and trepidation about overusing guys in their arms.
Jake Marisnik worked the count to 2-0. He lined a 2-run double to right center field in the second to give the Astros the lead. Off the plate, ball 1. That's 5 strikeouts now for Perez, not 4. That one almost hit him. 2-0 again to Jake. There have been a few of those at Astros right-handed hitters' kneecaps today. Altuve had a couple. Grounded foul. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
That beard needs a little attention.
Yeah, it could use some work. How but you can hide a drink under it. 3 balls and a strike to Jake Marisnik.
Hide a condo under that one.
That's true. We've lived in apartments smaller than that, right?
I certainly have.
It's 3-2. Altuve's on deck. Into right field, and here's a dive by Chu. Shin-Soo Choo takes one away from Marisnik with a diving play.
He even becomes a better right fielder in September. A lot of talk over the last couple of seasons about Chu not living up to things with the bat or with the glove, but it's a heck of a play.
First fly ball out for the Astros today.
Sound like a lot of Texas Rangers fans in their Chu there on that one.
Sounds as if they've made their way down I-45. Jose Altuve doubled in the first. He struck out looking in the second and was contentious on that call from Vic Carapazza. Strike one to Altuve.
just not even aware of.
Nah. It's all about the taste. It's all that matters.
The social incompetence that's going on there.
1-1. Remember a time when appearance was never an issue?
I guess since you're not aware of it at the time, you don't remember.
Immerse yourself in the food. Let it happen. 2-1. He's just trying to support the team colors. This is Fan Appreciation Day at Minute Maid Park. Foul back. Fans get to greet the players on the field, and they're getting a double-sided poster today featuring the 2015 team photo, and on the other side a 2016 team schedule for the first 10,000 fans.
Sugar tastes good in any color, right?
He seems to be thinking about a complete game on that. Going for the duration on that cotton candy. Poked out towards second. Odor on over to Moreland. Through 5. It's 2-1 Houston. Is possibly on his way to a share of history. 7th round pick in 09 for Arkansas in his debut season 2012. A 5.27 ERA. Going through the rough times with the Houston Astros. In 2013, a 5.15 ERA for a club with 111 losses. Not a lot of support for Dallas. In 2014, though, 200 innings, a 2.93 ERA. And he was arriving with a 12-9 record, and now a breakout year, leading the American League in innings pitched, WHIP, WAR, home ERA, the first pitcher in history to go 14-0 at home.
Yeah, the former member of the Shave Club has really had quite a year.
He's retired 11 Rangers in a row. Martin Perez has set down 10 Astros in a row. So we arrive at the 6th inning, and it's Delino DeShields with ball 1. DeShields is grounded out and hit a fly ball to left. In for a strike. 1-1 to DeShields. It's 1-2. Altuve was shortened up. Now he's going to shift around and play on the pull side against DeShields. He moved several feet to his right. Breaking pitch, foul back. It's Lance McCullers and Roenis Elias tomorrow night in Seattle. Airtime for the pregame show, 8:30. And we'd like to thank Doug Brocale for filling in on the pre and post game this weekend. In the dirt, and a check swing goes the Rangers' way. It's 2-2 on the call by Ron Kulpa. Last Astro pitcher to have 203 strikeouts or more was Roger Clemens, and Roy Oswalt both did it in 04 until Keuchel has done it with 8 more punch-outs today. Make it 9. That's 4 in a row in the strikeout department for Dallas Keuchel.
There are the 2 men still standing in that American League Cy Young race. Dallas Keuchel's been the odds-on favorite over the course of the year, but David Price has really come on. Leads by a slim margin in the ERA race. There's 4 guys with 18 wins right now. Colin McHugh on that list as well, but that's going to be fun to see how that turns out.
Very much so.
Today's game for Dallas could go a long way in that decision.
Ball 1 to Chu. Chu singled and scored in the first inning. He grounded out in the third. One ball, 1 strike. The Major League on-base percentage leader in September, 542.
Oh no, that's my bad. Dallas would love to have a nice quick 6th inning. Pitch count is getting tight on him now to get through a 7th.
That brings up the point of the relief situation today too. 2 balls and a strike. Luke Gregerson in 2/3 of an inning yesterday threw 28 pitches. Will Harris got the final out for his 2nd save of the year. It's 3-1 to Chu on the 100th pitch for Keuchel. Beltre's on deck.
Pretty good pitch to handle for a hitter right here on the 3-1. Just inside edge, but in that, when you're being aggressive, a nice zone to be able to attack.
Little chop. Carter tossing badly, but Keuchel reaches back for out number 2.
When in question, feed it out in front, and in that case over the bag. Carter and Altuve kind of smiling after the fact about who's got that ball, but Dallas Keuchel is ultimately the guy that makes the nice play.
He really did. Put on the brakes, reach back. Looked like that ball might have gotten stuck in Carter's hand a little bit. May have tossed him a changeup. Adrian Beltre has a walk and a strikeout. Beltre looks at ball 1.
One thing Carter doesn't do that maybe Marwin Gonzalez and Valbuena do is that instant charge toward the bag to shorten the toss and kind of ease all the burdens.
1-1. There may be a defensive replacement coming later, but the Astros have just a 1-run lead right now. Correa. That's a 1-2-3 6th inning. It's 14 straight Rangers retired by Dallas Keuchel, and the Astros lead it 2-1.
This moment in history is brought to you by M.D. Anderson. On September 27, 1963, in an effort to boost attendance, the Houston Colt 45s put 9 rookies in the starting lineup, including future All-Stars Jimmy Wynn, Joe Morgan, Rusty Staub, and Jerry Grody. And on top of that, 17-year-old pitcher Jay Dahl. It's the first and only time a Major League team has fielded an all-rookie lineup. The average age of the starting 9 was 19 and 4 months on top of that. Wow.
George Springer leads it off against Martin Perez. 2-1 Astros in the home 6th inning. 10 straight retired by Perez. He's been coming inside quite a bit on these right-handed batters. There's ball 1. Right-handed hitters are hitting .320 against Perez this season. Springer hit a grounder and then struck out. Chu comes over near the right field line. One out for Perez, and the Rangers are keeping it close.
Here on the homestand, Brownie, Carlos Correa's had some big extra base hits, and you can see where they actually stack up in terms of the strike zone. The red ones, you can see where they've gone, and the green and the blue, I guess it is, as well. But he's utilized the entire field. He's got that kind of power, and just simply that kind of player. His swing affords him the opportunity to handle just about anything.
Out to right field, Chu coming in. That's a hit in front of him right off the end of the bat for Correa. 6-game hitting streak for Correa. So 11 straight had been retired. Now Correa interrupts that string.
Hit one right off the end of the bat like this, and it'll cause an outfielder to take a step back or at least pause momentarily, and it pays off for Carlos. And that's just beautiful, beautiful hitting form through the baseball. Gives you a chance to smile while you play the game.
Evan Gattis has grounded out twice. Colby Rasmus on deck here in the Astros 6th. It's Tampa Bay 4, Toronto 4. They're in the middle of the 9th at Rogers Center. Justin Smoke hit his 17th for Toronto. Marky Matuk, number 6 for Tampa Bay. Mark Burley started for the Blue Jays, giving up 4 runs in 6 innings. They're underway in Anaheim, 0-0. Seattle and the Angels after 1.5. Rangers were 8 behind the Astros August 2nd and 9 games out of first back on July 22nd. In tight. 1-0, and they have put on a rush.
Well, how many times is a team that, following the All-Star break, that finds themselves 9 games back in the division, how many times are they taken seriously?
Not too often.
It takes quite a turnaround.
Especially after what they did last year.
Yep.
Strike to Gattis. 1-1. Their 9.5 game deficit a couple of different times this year is the largest in Rangers history when they have reached first place at some point in the season. Gattis fouls it. He falls down.
That's beautiful. The final portion of that, he just conceded to give everybody a little laugh. But this is a really good swing, and then balance betrays. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and take it.
Lumberjack down.
That's one of your leaders in baseball in triples. You know, you do that at home every day, but you just don't like to do it on the field.
Somebody cry out timber over there.
That's beautiful.
That might loosen things up a little bit.
Did you do that this morning at home?
Yes. Every morning, that's a great way to start the day. Two balls, 2 strikes. Can't remember last time we saw that one, in fact, Ash.
You see some guys drop to a knee or, kind of sprawl a little bit, but That was just a concession to utter defeat.
Well, you know, after that, he has to be thinking of doing something big, right?
Either that or you're just as embarrassed as it gets and you want to do something to get out of there.
Throw over to first on Correa. Correa's 12 for 16 in steals. Masashi Iwakuma is pitching for the Mariners today against Jared Weaver in Anaheim. No score after 2 now.
That's pretty good news because that means the Astros will not face Iwakuma.
And also they will not face Felix Hernandez. Pulled, and that's a fair ball. That kicks out toward the left fielder, and here goes Correa to third. Napoli throwing into second. Great base running by Correa to get to third on the sharp single by Gaddis. It was worth taking a tumble to hit one like that.
Any day. Rich Dower saying, I did that once way back out there where nobody could see me. Yeah, very nice from Evan. You know what? If you could come up with a hit every time following that little embarrassing fall, you do it every time.
Now it's first and third, one out, and Rasmus will try to tack on for the Astros. He is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out.
Go ahead and play Gerald Ford on your acceptance speech of winning the batting title.
Ross Ohlendorf is warming up for Texas. Ball 1. Key situation here for Rasmus and the Astros, leading by 1. Astros are 0-8 in one-run games in September. One and one to Colby. 82 pitches for Martin Perez. It's 1-2. Minnesota's leading 7-1 at Detroit. They're in the bottom of the 9th now. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ohlendorf. It'll be either a 4.5 game lead for the Rangers or a 2.5 game lead, depending on what happens here today. And now 3-2.
I don't think you can send Evan Gaddis here. I think you've got to play this inning the best way you feel in trying to at least get 1 run on the board. And I don't think you can offer to give up an out.
Rasmus fouls it.
Say 1 run right here could feel like $1 million insurance policy.
The way Keuchel's throwing. Marwin Gonzalez is on deck. Struck him out. 2 outs. Strikeout number 6 for Perez.
Looking for the perfect location for your special event? Minute Maid Park provides elegant event spaces and high-end entertainment in one of Houston's most iconic sporting venues. Learn more about how you can have your special event right here at Minute Maid Park by calling 713-259-8800 or by visiting astros.com/special events.
Marwin Gonzalez is 0 for 2. He reached on the error by Andrus and scored and grounded out. The Astros about hit the Rangers today 5-1. Each club has left 2 on base. It's a final now in Detroit. The Twins beat the Tigers 7-1. Irvin Santana going to 7-4, and he has really pitched well for them. Aaron Buxton hit his first major league homer. Randy Wolf was the loser for Detroit. Well, the Twins have 75 losses. The Astros have 74. Twins have 80 wins now. One ball, 1 strike. Just Carter's on deck. So this is up to the moment. Twins currently 1 behind the Astros. Indians are trailing 2-0 at Kansas City. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning right now.
Those standings tell you how precious every win can be.
Oh, you bet. 1-2. This is a 4-4 homestand for the Astros. Jeff Luhnow was on his radio show a few nights ago and was asked about the Astros on the road where they're 29-46. He said, well, certainly what we're hoping is that this last road trip, with this pressure being very similar to playoff games right now, will mean that the Astros can handle the road games fine and then go on into the playoffs and have that road success from the last trip behind them. Because he said, we're going to be playing important playoff games on the road. In tight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That wasn't a prediction, but that's if they make it, it would be.
I don't think any player ever thinks, as they're putting on their uniform before a ball game, yeah, we're playing at home, or man, it's going to be tough. We're playing on the road. I don't think that's the thought process. Hard to figure out why there seems to be such an edge for some teams.
It is. Ground ball third. Beltre bobbles and gets it. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left for the Astros. They lead 2-1 after 6.
4-1 lead. Let's name that Astro for you. Remember the clues? Once traded for a Pirates legend, playoff hero against the team he played for, retired during the '94 strike. We're talking about Sid Bream, who was traded to the Pirates for Bill Madlock. Later scored the NLCS clinching run against the Pirates while with the Atlanta Braves. He was hitting .344, backing up Jeff Bagwell with the Astros, but retired after the season-ending strike. Bream, interesting that he's remembered for scoring that run because not exactly swift of foot was Sid Bream. In fact, I had an Astros coach tell me one time that they used to time Bream with a sundial.
Oh boy!
But a lot of the tweets we got were right on the mark with that one, guys.
They were. Excellent job by the fans. 2-1, Dallas Keuchel versus the Texas Rangers, and Prince Fielder, top of the 7th inning. Fielder's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Strike one. Keuchel has retired 14 straight Rangers. Their only hit came with 1 out in the first, a single by Shin-Soo Choo to right field. It's 1-1. Double-barreled action in the Astros bullpen. They have a left-hander and a right-hander warming up. Fielder goes fishing, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oliver Perez and Will Harris.
Well, you don't mind when a guy throws his fishing pole at the water on a pitch like that.
2-2. Greg Bjornson, the bullpen coach, out there alongside Perez and Harris. Fouled. Fielder really is one of those players who gives a tough at bat. He's worked the count to 2-2 all 3 times he's been up there today. High batting average, good RBI man. This is a very difficult out right now.
For about 5 months, he had a great shot at the batting title this year. He's fallen off, but he has shown what a great hitter he is.
Sharp grounder, Altuve. 1 out.
And you get him out, or Adrian Beltre, the way Shin-Soo Choo has gone in that 2, 3, 4 spots for this Rangers club, you've done something.
Mike Napoli is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Mitch Moreland is on deck. The Royals lead the Indians 2-0. They're in the top of the 7th inning. And the Indians just got their first hit in the 7th. In for a strike to Napoli. Chris Young started. He went 5 no-hit innings for Kansas City. Danny Duffy worked the 6th. And Ryan Madsen just gave up the first hit of the game. Looper and Correa, or Altuve rather, will get there, but despite his best efforts will not get him out. Out of that shift, he had a long way to come. He winds up face down. Great effort, but Napoli gets a hit.
How much does this game mean to guys like Altuve? Hey, you look at this, how far Altuve had to go.
That small out effort.
I don't know that he could have gotten much more on that throw, but I was glad to see not much on it, so you had some adjustment possibility for Carter.
Now we get a pinch runner for Napoli at first base, Will Venable. Venable is aboard, and it's Moreland batting. Moreland is 0 for 2. Hit number 2 for the Rangers, both singles. Strike to Moreland. Moreland is now 1 for 12 lifetime against Keuchel. He's really been a key hitter, though, for the Rangers. Marlins on a 7-game hitting streak right now. 0-2 to Marlins. Moreland spent some time on the shelf earlier this year. He had surgery to remove a bone chip from his left elbow. Time is called. 115 pitches right now for Keuchel. He threw 116 last time out. In the dirt, walked by Castro, and it's 1-2. Keuchel has taken over the American League lead in innings pitched. He was second when this game started, but he only needed a couple of innings to be the leader.
He could use a double play right about now. That pitch count, number 117 coming up.
He gets a punch out. Number 10. Another tremendous day for Dallas Keuchel.
Just dips it down and in. Once you start establishing the strike zone, you can get a bunch of swings out of the zone.
Elvis Andrus has walked and struck out. He looks at ball one with Odor on deck. David Price was the ERA leader in the American League when the day started at 2.45. Keuchel was second at 2.51. One and one to Andrus. Keuchel, the opening day starter, started the All-Star game, and now shooting for win number 19 of the year. He would be the American League leader if he gets it. Indians now have scored in the 7th inning. They trail Kansas City 2-1. One to Andrus.
That's one of those pitches, may not be in the strike zone, but really where Keuchel wanted it.
Marisnick shades to right center for Andrus. Runner takes off early. Here's a throw from Castro, not in time. And a stolen base for Venable. And strike two with the call to Andrus.
That's the way you steal on Keuchel. Otherwise, you don't go. But you have to leave way early, as you could see Venable did. Keuchel doesn't throw to first base. That really doesn't affect the running game unless you just cheat like this.
Venable now is 5 for 5 in steals with the Rangers. He is 12 for 13 overall. Time call by Andrus. Or maybe Castro. Castro's going out. Now with the runner at second looking in, they may change their set of signs. That's the 94th stolen base for the Rangers. They're third in the American League. And the crowd is into it here at Minute Maid for Dallas Keuchel. In a key moment with a 1-run lead in the 7th. At 121 pitches. Fly ball left field. Let's see if anybody can track it down. Correa will. Foul ball, out number 3. No runs a hit. A man stranded. God bless America, and the fans are already up to sing it. It's 2-1 Houston.
It's our Sunday afternoon tradition here at Minute Maid Park. Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask that you please rise and join us as we pause, not only to honor our great nation, but to thank and salute those who protect our freedoms around the world each and every day. Please join Nicholas Connors with the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America. Let that love stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Bring on the first bullpen man of the afternoon. Very good starting pitching. Rangers go to Ollendorf, who's been in this series quite a bit. Ross Ollendorf, 17 games on the year, 3-0. He's pitched well. Left-hand hitters have had a miserable time. And here in the month, he's been a big part of why the Rangers have been able to turn it on.
Yes, he has. He's improved their bullpen depth. Chris Carter stays in to face him. Carter is 1 for 2. He singled in the second inning and scored. Castro and Marisnick due to follow. Curveball, ball 1. The appeal went down to the first base umpire, Ron Culpa. He checked his swing. Martin Perez in 6 innings allowed 5 hits, 2 runs. He walked 1, fanned 6 through 93 pitches, 58 strikes. Carter looks at it. It's 1-1. Ollendorf has been a nice revelation to their bullpen. He worked Friday night, an inning and a third, no hits, no runs, and picked up the win in the 6-2 game. That's right to left field, and Chris Carter has struck him low. Number 22. 3-1 Houston.
How about that? You get men on base and can't find a way to push them across, and then Carter takes that one big swing. That's why you love the dangerous bats in your lineup.
Carter really swung a solid bat that time on the 1-1. And the Astros get their 217th home run of the year.
Second most in the major leagues, and they have ridden those long balls.
Jason Castro out to center field. That loops in for a hit in front of DeShields, and Castro's aboard for Marisnick now.
Take a look at that swing by Chris Carter once more. He had gotten a pitch to handle this one in, and very quick with the bat. It was a no-doubt shot. Oh, you love that sound when it's your team.
Explosive swing by Carter. One of 5 Astro 20 home run hitters. That ties the club record. Mike Maddox has come out to talk with Ohlendorf. There is more activity in the bullpen for the Rangers. A bullpen which has been sensational for them in September with an ERA under 2. But Carter greeted Ohlendorf with that big swing.
Time now for our Mako big hit of the game. Let's see, where do we turn? Yeah, Jake Marisnick back in the second inning. 2 outs, couple of men in scoring position, and he brought him in for the score. Well, that was a big-time hit, and Jake with his speed and aggressiveness turned it into a double.
Now Marisnick, after lining out to right and being robbed by a Chu diving catch, takes ball 1 in the dirt. There is warm-up action for the Rangers. Anthony Bass in their bullpen. Paid attendance is 36,084. So the crowds this weekend have been tremendous. 35 plus, 35 plus, and 36 plus in the 3 games. And now the place is alive. Fans are really into it. Beltre's in close at third base. Foul ball by Marisnick.
Postseason would look mighty good on this beautiful ballpark, wouldn't it?
Ooh. Wouldn't these fans love that opportunity? And Chris Carter has really feasted here at Minute Maid Park. A large proportion of his home runs coming at home. He's hit 17 at home of his 22. The Astros as a team have hit 128 homers at Minute Maid Park. Carter, one of several Astros, who's done much better in that department at home compared to on the road. They've hit 89 on the road. Fouled away, 1-2. That's one big reason they're 52-28 in this ballpark. Last time the Astros had 5 20 home run hitters was the 04 season. Greg Biggio, Jeff Bagwell, Lance Berkman, Carlos Beltran, and Jeff Kent. It's 2-2. Mariners 1, Angels nothing. Bottom of the 4th in Anaheim. Hisashi Iwakuma is now pitching the bottom of the fourth. In the dirt. A full count now to Marisnik. Postseason experience for these two teams. Astros hitters have 125 plate appearances in the postseason. Rangers hitters 902.
They're getting tired.
Marisnik puts it in the air, and he is really unhappy with this result. A pop up to Beltray. 1 out.
Register now for the opportunity to purchase tickets to potential 2015 Astros postseason games. That's right here at Minute Maid Park. You won't want to miss the excitement of October baseball. Sign up at astros.com/postseason tickets.
Jose Altuve is 1 for 3. Well, with a collision he withstood from Carlos Correa Friday night. It showed what he's all about when he came back yesterday. Hit 2 homers. Led off this game for the Astros in the first inning with a double. He's 1 for 3. Up to 192 hits on the season now. Taking strike 1. When he came off that field, the fact that he would start Saturday seemed to be in doubt to a lot of people. Altuve with a fly ball, Chu and right, makes the catch on it. 2 outs.
Jose Altuve has certainly enjoyed this ballpark. Those are the numbers, 2012 on down to 2015. And yeah, those are good numbers early on, 284, 292, then 366 in the batting title year. Very good again this year. On base and the home runs growing year by year. Another fantastic year by the Astros second baseman.
George Springer's 0 for 3. Foul back. There's strike 1. Carl Patterson producing today. Paul Bykowski directing. They've been a part of a fabulous production team we've had throughout the season. Home and road. One and one. The Angels have tied the Mariners now. It's 1-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. David Murphy drove in a run. Two to Springer. Full count to Springer now with 2 outs. Castro ready to take off on the next one.
Turn the dial up and catch yourself a heater.
Struck him out on a high breaking pitch. 1 run on 2 hits. Carter provided the run, his 22nd home run of the year here in the 7th inning. Makes it 3-1 Houston.
One swing in the bat from Chris Carter has extended the Astros lead to 3-1 as we move to the 8th. And the most popular way to follow Astros baseball is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the MLB.com at Bat app now. Get it now so you'll be able to follow the rest of the season and then postseason, we're hoping, guys.
Yeah, we are. Oliver Perez is in the game for the Astros, facing Rougned Odor. New third baseman Luis Valbuena on the grass. Odor showing bunt, takes strike 1. Dallas Keuchel threw a season-high 122 pitches. 71 of them were strikes. Odor is 0 for 2. Marwin Gonzalez is playing first base now, with Valbuena at third and Perez on the mound. Odor past a diving Gonzalez, hits one into the right field corner. Springer has a long run to get there. Odor is eyeing third base. He is streaking for third, and the ball is out of Altuve's glove. An easy triple for Odor.
I think Oliver Perez may have been in just to face the one batter, the left-handed bat. And that's all eventually he is going to face anyway, but he didn't care about a lefty. He got a pitch right down the middle and shot it down the line. The Carter home run now stands up large. Well, you could see Brownie, and you called it. He did a heck of a job picking up his third base coach early on there before getting to the bag at second.
Yes, he did. Leadoff triple. Will Harris is coming in. 3-1 Houston. Back in a moment.
went his 7 innings, took a lot of pitches to get it done. But strikeouts were the theme today, 10 of them for Dallas Keuchel as he got through those 7 innings. Has the 2-run lead and counting on the bullpen to get it done now. A little bit of an unusual afternoon, but all he does is find a way to keep his club ahead.
Now it's Will Harris, and pinch hitter Josh Hamilton is batting for Chris Jimenez. Runner at third. Hamilton takes ball 1. Harris got his second save of the season yesterday in the Astros 9-7 win. In a career high 64 games, he's 5-5 with a 1.88 ERA. They retired Mitch Moreland for the final out. Hamilton looks at it. He's ahead 2-0. Hamilton was in the starting lineup yesterday, going 1 for 4. He's 2 for 7 as a pinch hitter. Tony Sipp is warming up for Houston. That was Hamilton's first start yesterday since August 15th. He's had knee surgery. 2 balls, 1 strike. Hamilton's been on the disabled list 3 different times. Coming back as well from right shoulder surgery. And he had a left hamstring strain. 2-2. Sam Dyson's warming up for Texas. Good breaking pitch. Hamilton's a career .333 hitter at Minute Maid Park with 8 homers, 22 runs batted in. Struck him out.
There's a first out for you. Keep that man at third base. Work some magic right now. You've come up with the first portion of that magic act.
Will Harris has been phenomenal this year for the Astros. Now he faces DeShields, who's 0 for 3. Harris leads the club in relief innings with 67. Infielders are in tight. Ball 1 to DeShields. Shin-Soo Choo on deck. Rangers are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Now 2-0 to DeShields. Dallas Keuchel could be a 19-game winner. Strike, 2-1.
Shields had that great count in which to hit, but got that little cut job that Harris will run up there.
Harris has allowed a .174 batting average. Runner coming to the plate. Correa goes to first. 3-2 ball game. Out number 2. DeShields grounding out to Correa. DeShields gets his 35th run batted in.
The Astros are trying to stay away from a 2+ run inning, and in the process give up the run. But that's the way just about anybody would wisely play it. And a big run for the Rangers.
Pat Neshek now has joined Tony Sipp for the Astros. DeShields gets the RBI. Choo is the batter. Choo's 1 for 3. Well, the Chris Carter's 7th inning homer is the difference as of now. Strike to Choo. Oliver Perez did not retire a batter, giving up 1 hit, 1 run with no walks, no strikeouts. Foul ball, and it's 0-2. There's been a marked contrast in the performance of these two bullpens here in September. Astros relievers have compiled an ERA above 6. Rangers relievers ERAs below 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Harris is 31. He was born in Houston. Here's that last pitch.
Close on the breaking ball. And that's been called sometimes today.
36,084 the paid attendance. Very supportive Astros crowd today. 2-2. It's been an energy-packed day at Minute Maid Park. Correa, Gaddis, and Rasmus are due up in the Houston 8th. The Rangers had beaten the Astros 8 times in a row until Houston won yesterday. Three and 2. Beltre on deck. Angels got a run in the 5th. They lead Seattle 2-1. Still batting. David Freese hit his 13th homer. Grounder, and Correa backs up to get the bounce. Throws him out. 1 run, 1 hit. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-2, Houston.
Big swings. He's had a couple of game winners in over the last month and a half. Some of the big ones. And this club has had a bunch. Mike Fiers, of course, the no-hitter, as he was making, I believe, his second start with the club at that time here at home. And one of those really great moments. September 6th, saw Jed Lowry come up with a game winner of his own, because he's had more than one. Hit one in Anaheim, about as big as they come in defeating the Angels. It's been a team effort. And just filter back through some of these big moments for the club on the year. And there have been some tremendous times.
Now the Rangers have made changes here with the Astros up 3-2 going to the bottom of the 8th inning, including pitcher Sam Dyson. New catcher is Bobby Wilson. Dyson's 5-4 with a 2.86 ERA, an ERA of 0 in 10 games this month, and an ERA of 0 against the Astros this year for Sam Dyson.
Just a number of guys on this Rangers club coming up clutch in the month of September.
New center fielder Drew Stubbs in the game as well. Dyson's 27 years old. He faces Carlos Correa, who's 1 for 3. Gaddis on deck. Rasmus due up third. Andrews plays it to his left. 1 out.
Talk about some of those big moments. How about just fun moments with Evan Gaddis and his 3-bag prowess off the wall. Of course, that means 3, not stopping at second base. If you're Evan Gaddis, 10 triples. Really amazing. Came into the year with 1 3-bagger. 6 of those triples coming right here at Minute Maid Park. He has made it mighty fun. And keep in mind, he hasn't stolen a base. He has promised he will not.
Line shot into center field. Gaddis is 2 for 4. He's aboard for Colby Rasmus. 8 hits for the Astros. We get a pinch runner. Look who's running. Wow. Carlos Gomez gets in a game for the first time in a couple of weeks. Luke Gregerson is warming up for the Astros.
I wonder what the message to Gomez was when he went out there. Or has Gomez said before the game, hey, look, I feel good. I'm ready to go. And you just let him go do it.
Colby Rasmus is 0 for 3. Preston Tucker comes out to the on-deck circle. Marwin Gonzalez is due to bat next. A.J. Hinch wanting insurance runs here in the 8th, up by 1. And it's strike 1. Dyson has been in key spots against the Astros this year with that ERA of 0. He has a save and 2 holds against them. Pitch Friday night, 1 scoreless inning. Gomez takes off, and he'll make it easily without a throw from the new catcher, Wilson.
Flair's back in town. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He was moving, by the way, and picks up the stolen base uncontested, but then the dressing right here. Yeah.
There's been some styling on both sides in this rivalry this year. 15th steal for Gomez. Maddox out to talk it over after the stolen base, and a 1-1 count. Lefty Jake Dickens warming up. Probably getting ready for Tucker. Dyson's been a key member of that improved Ranger bullpen, obtained in the trade with Miami in July. He turns back towards second. Left-handed hitters have hit .258 against Dyson, but no home runs. 31 at bats since he joined the Rangers. Chop to the right side, and Moreland is there. 2 outs. Gomez to third.
Come get a behind-the-scenes look right here at Minute Maid Park. Learn all about the ballpark by visiting areas like the historic Union Station, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and much more. For more information, visit Astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to schedule your tour today.
Preston Tucker's pinch hitting for Marwin Gonzalez, who has a problem batting left-handed because of a wrist injury. Tucker is 3 for 10 pinch hitting. 2 homers, 4 runs batted in. Buena's on deck. There's strike 1. Tucker's 1 for 2 in this series. Astros 1 for 6 with men in scoring position. That's a big run represented by Gomez here in the 8th inning in a 1-run game. He might score. He's coming to the plate. Here's Wilson with a throw to Dyson. He's safe.
Wow, did that pinch runner pay off? Big stolen base. Moves up on the ground ball and then able to score here. Watch, it's a little bit of a delay. And that makes it awfully close at the plate. Just a big, big run. You know, they're reviewing that in the Rangers dugout, but they are not going to be able to come up with anything here.
Great job of Wilson getting that throw to Dyson, and Dyson came in and did a terrific piece of work for a pitcher fielding, but he had that hole in between his legs, and that's where the hand went.
No room for the hockey puck once that hand got in there.
Dick Carapazza had a great view of it.
They're going to review anyway, but no turning this thing around.
No.
Of course, we saw one a few days ago that didn't get reviewed appropriately. But yeah, there's no denying.
Four to 2.
I don't know about anybody else, but I would say Cargo's ready to roll.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Time is called. The call on the field was confirmed on that replay review. It's ruled a pass ball, allowing Gomez to score. Two and 1 to Tucker. Two balls, 2 strikes. Rangers have Beltre, fielder, and the number 5 spot, and that's now occupied by Will Venable coming up in the 9th inning. Stubbs in center for the 3rd out, but the pass ball and the selection of the pinch runner, Carlos Gomez, has made a big difference in this game. It's now 4-2 Houston going to the 9th. Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B. 4-2, the Astros lead the Rangers. Luke Gregerson is in the game. We go to the 9th inning. And Gregerson had a rough time yesterday. Was lifted with 1 out to go in the game. In 60 games, 7-3, 28 for 33 in saves. He faces Beltre. Throwing strike 1. Gregerson coming in the 9th inning yesterday was tagged for 4 hits and 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Well, it was a 9-4 game, became a 9-7 game. 2 men on base. He was lifted. Marisnik, 1 out. Will Harris put together a very good 8th inning. 1 inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. And now it's Gregerson without number 1. A.J. Hinch had no problem with Gregerson's behavior when he came out to get him. Gregerson was indicating by holding his hand out to Hinch that he should not come get him, that he could finish the game. Fielder is 6 for 8 against Gregerson, but A.J. was asked about it today. The media approached Luke Gregerson. He said he did not want to talk about it. A.J. said no problems at all with this guy. He's very competitive. Fielder fouls it away, and there's strike 1. He's 0 for 3 with an RBI. And now right back out 24 hours later. Try to pick up another save. Fouled, and it's 0-2. Gregerson got the first 2 outs yesterday on strikeouts. And then he gave up 4 straight singles and a hit batter. He wound up throwing 28 pitches in the game. Angels 2, Mariners 1. Bottom of the 6th inning in Anaheim. Struck him out number 2, and 1 out away from winning the series in the final regular season home game.
In pursuit of save number 29. And a big one. Again, every game so big for the club right now.
Rangers will be going home to face Detroit for 3, the Angels for 4. It has been a fantastic season for these fans compared to expectation levels. Will Venables the batter. Strike 1.
Stay tuned after the game as Kevin Eschenfelder and Brett Dolan break down all the action from today's game, plus interviews from the clubhouse and much more on Astros postgame show, presented by Houston Methodist.
1-1 to Venable. Moreland's on deck. A win today gives the Astros a 53-28 record at Minute Maid Park, which ties their record in this ballpark. The 05 Astros were 53-28. More importantly, it pulls them to within 2.5 of Texas and keeps them in the wild card lead.
So you're saying the team that went to the World Series had that same home record?
That's
huh?
it.
Okay.
One and 2. What a send-off game this could be for the final road trip. Headed for Seattle after this game. Two balls and 2 strikes to Venable. And the Astros lead after 8 innings. Their record is 66-1. Altuve to Valbuena. And the Astros take this win and this series from the Rangers. They're 2.5 games out of first. It's win number 82 of the season. Gomez, a big contributor. Carter with a home run. The Astros make Dallas Keuchel a 19-game winner, perhaps on his way to the Cy Young Award. Here's the final out. Four to 2, the Astros beat the Rangers today.
Just